Cordy, you should go with Giles.
Why do I have to have...
Even Giles is like, I don't want to be stuck with her. Come on, Cordelia's good company.
Let's go, tact guy.
Welcome back, Super Friends and Super Family. I am Thor, your friendly neighborhood god of thunder. Today I'm reacting to Season 2, Episode 18 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, wow. I mean, last episode, I just watched it now, so you're watching this probably a week later, but I am still processing what the heck just happened. Yeah, wow. So no more Miss Calendar, no more happiness for Giles, no more happiness in the show. I mean, it's just going to be depression and suffering and coping with grief for the rest of the show. That's my predictions. Goodbye. You know, maybe this is just the time to call it quits and wrap it up now. It's like, is it just going to be a more painful experience as we continue on Buffy? Who knows? What's going to happen next? I'm actually really concerned with Giles because, and I feel like maybe this is hinting at why Angel goes off for his spin-off show. Could be wrong. Maybe it's a prequel, but maybe killing Miss Calendar is the thing that Angelus can never come back from, even if Angel gets his soul back. I could see that. But I could also see Giles dying. I don't know. I do not know. I feel like that was such a curveball for a story choice, and it's very painful. Like I said at the end of last episode, I'm still processing what happened, and I'm very intrigued for how that's going to inform the decisions of the characters moving forward. Because there was that moment, obviously it's going to affect Giles, but I think there was a moment of realization where Buffy, that grief, that suffering, the death of her friend, and the friend who her even closer friend Giles loves, I think that is going to maybe be the motivation that would get Buffy to kill Angelus. I don't think that's going to happen, especially the way they ended last episode with that shot on the floppy disk. I think that's what you call those. I've never used one. But I think that is going to hint that there is a way to get Angel's soul back. And I think that's going to happen. But man, I'm very excited to get into this episode. Obviously, I'm joking, talking about stopping watching the show. I actually, as painful as it is, I actually really like that they did that because I was not expecting it. I'm a big fan of shows that have the guts to kill off main characters. And I'm also just, the way they executed it was heartbreaking. It was cinematic. It was relevant to the characters. It just made for an amazing episode of television. So that's definitely an episode, even though it's fresh in my mind, that's standing out. It's one of the strongest we've seen all season. And seeing how Giles in particular is going to deal with grief, how he's going to try to recover, how he's going to move forward, if he's going to be tempted, if he's just going to be tempted to get retribution for what happened. And, we do see there's a side of Giles that's imperfect. And so I could see that being, last episode, him showing up trying to kill Angelus was obviously a very rash, illogical thing to do. But it really, I can't fault him at all. In the heat of the moment, who wouldn't do that? But I'm wondering, I could also see there being effects and him being tempted to do foolish things long term. I mean, they loved each other. And I actually do admire the show. I really do admire the show for Miss Calendar being the one to be killed off. It was so unexpected for me. It's so painful, and it does kind of set the precedent. Now I'm on edge. Like, now continuing this season, going into this episode here, episode 18, I'm nervous for the characters, and I love that. I love, it's pain, but it's bittersweet of like good shows, and that episode really has kind of elevated things in my mind. And I do hope, I would say that just going forward right now, I don't think they're going to do this. I really hope they don't. I hope there's no way to reverse and like bring Miss Calendar back. I feel like I really dislike when shows or movies do that, with rare exceptions. There are times where it's done well, but most of the time I feel like that's done because a character is popular and well loved. And then, they just want to bring that character back because they're like, the audiences loves them. It helps the show ratings. But I think that would really kind of, all the positive feeling I have for the show, it really kind of undercut that, because if deaths in a show like don't mean something, then every time you try to get me to have an emotional response when someone dies or someone is in danger of dying, I feel like significantly less. So as much as I am very disappointed that Miss Calendar is gone, I'm very sad that she and Giles don't, their future is obviously ruined. I do hope that they don't bring her back, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, I'm missing her right now, but I just feel like it's very, very rare that a show or a story does that in a way that I don't feel like is kind of cheap and makes the future episodes, the future scenarios of tension feel less compelling. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited to get into this episode. I don't think it can be more depressing than last episode, but who knows? Like, I was not expecting that from last episode, so we will see. As always, if you want to see the full unedited reactions to all my Buffy, they're up on Patreon. I really do appreciate everyone who is signed up and supports there. I say it all the time, but it is the biggest thing that helps me do what I do. And if you want to see my reaction to next week's episode 19, man, it's crazy. We're reaching the end of the season here. And it feels like it. Things are escalating. But if you want to see that episode, that's going to be up right now on Patreon for early access. And let's just get into it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 2, Episode 18. What you up to, Buffy? What are you doing here? I hope you're not too distracted by grief and you let your guard down somehow.
Non-vampire, +2.
You guys couldn't communicate that you were all going out tonight?
My whole life just flashed before my eyes. I gotta get me a life.
World's spinning a little bit, but I like it. It's kind of like a ride.
I don't think a fever is anything like a ride.
We're all concerned about how gross you look.
Oh, come on.
What the? He's right here again?
Not feeling well, lover?
Come on, somebody help her. She needs a little assist here. Come on, you guys. I know you guys are weaker as humans, but you can't just stand there.
This does not look good for our heroine.
Okay, here we go. You guys are waiting for the perfect moment so you could, hold this over Buffy. Like, remember the one time we saved you?
We'll have to do this again sometime.
At least they came prepared. That shows, like, some common sense amongst the core group here. Even Cordelia had a cross.
Buffy!
Things are just getting better and better. I'm telling you, this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the season. Just things are going to keep going wrong.
What happened? She fell. The flu fainted and fell.
Hard to coordinate your cover story when you're in a rush to get someone to the hospital. I mean, he cares so much about Buffy. I mean, they all care so much about Buffy. Oh, Giles. I don't even want to see Giles. I can just imagine what type of pain he's in.
Able to stabilize.
Is she okay?
She's going to be fine.
Okay, good. Talk about relief for her mom, man.
I want to keep her here a few days, though. She still has some healing to do.
Is Buffy safe in the hospital? Or is there some type of sign like, we invite anyone who's hurt, so the vampires can just walk in?
My bed is better than any bed that's not my bed.
She's still a little out of it.
A little. She's really out of it.
She'll feel better after she's been here a while.
I'm taking your word for it, doctor.
No, let me go.
Oh, careful. She has all her super strength.
Giles, tell them. The vampires, they need to kill
Oh, no.
there.
Yes, we'll get to those vampires later.
It's gonna be okay. I promise.
Please don't make me stay
I
here.
promise.
I don't know. I feel like Buffy's going to be vulnerable in this hospital. I don't trust her in this location. And I am worried about like the rest of Sunnydale without their Slayer.
When she was 8, her cousin Celia died in a hospital.
Jeez.
I was alone with her at the time.
That's tragic.
I should go call her father.
I forgot about her dad, actually.
I hope I'm not out of line, but I wanted to say how sorry I am about that teacher.
Oh,
Buffy said you were close. Thank you.
what a nice thing for her to say.
Buffy's been so down since it happened. I mean, she never gets sick.
I'm sure she'll be.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it. It's so close to him.
Well, if you need anything.
What a great gesture to offer that, even though like she's not super close with Giles.
I don't know. Lisette got her nose done here, and she came in looking for the Gwyneth Paltrow, and looked more like the Mr. Potato Head.
I like how that's what Cordelia has to reference with this hospital.
Do you think Angel will attack Buffy in here?
He can come in. It's a public building.
Oh. This is not good. This is not good. They need like full-time security for all the lead characters after Miss Calendar's death. I swear, if you have like a nightmarish Drusilla dream, Buffy, I feel bad for you. Yeah, this is just like a horror movie. Is she hallucinating? Can we trust the doctor? Is there any chance the doctor gave her like different type of drugs? Yeah, this has to be a dream sequence. Or a nightmare sequence, probably. What the heck? Are these like ghosts or spirits of people who have died in this hospital? Is that a young Buffy? Is she gonna see her cousin here? It is way too quiet though. Wait, we're having a little deja vu? What's going on? I mean, maybe she's still in a dream state here. Okay.
The normal course of
They
treatment.
aren't responding to the normal course of treatment. Look, they're getting worse.
Raising their temperature is
Dr.
potential.
Wilkinson.
Okay, what's going on here? Maybe this isn't a dream. Maybe this is like a weird hospital.
He comes at night. The grown-ups don't see him. Who? Death.
Oh, wonderful. Creepy words from creepy kids. In a hospital, possibly in a nightmare.
Visiting hours are over. Pretty much family. Yeah. Why don't you come back during the day?
Look at Xander like standing up to Angelus.
Maybe that security guard couldn't either. Or those cops. Or the orderlies.
A lot of witnesses.
Find out. You game?
Man, Xander, I gotta give him props for that. The level of courage.
You still love her.
Of course he does.
It must just eat you up that I got there first. You're gonna die. And I'm gonna be there.
Xander the badass. Man, what a great Xander moment there. Take that, Angelus. You're not so tough now. See, Xander will do things that are just unbelievably frustrating, but then he'll have moments like this where he's staying, watching Buffy, and he stands up to Angelus like that. Props to him.
Soon. You have to make sure that fever is gone. That's a strong virus you have. Maybe not as strong as you, but...
I don't trust her.
Flowers for me, lady.
This is so sweet of them to show up with all these gifts like this.
Homework. It's my way of saying get well soon.
You know, chocolate says that even better.
I'm on Buffy's side of that.
I did all your assignments. All you have to do is sign your name.
Chocolate means nothing to me.
Willow is awesome.
I was out of the loop on gifts.
It's okay, Cordelia. You're there. It's fine.
Do you want me to go real fast? Not that I would.
It would be great if like Spike shows up and Buffy and Spike can have like a discussion both in wheelchairs.
You death? As in, it is your time?
Buffy, a frightened child.
Yeah, but I thought I saw something.
Come on, we at this point in the show, I feel like if anyone has an instinct that something's wrong, Buffy is good at that. So take her word for it.
So this isn't about you being afraid of hospitals because your friend died and you want to conjure up a monster that you can fight so you can save everybody and not feel so helpless?
Buffy's not going to appreciate this, Cordelia.
Have you actually ever heard of tact?
Tact is just not saying true stuff. I'll pass.
I can see Cordelia's perspective, even though I don't fully agree.
As long as I'm forced to stay here, I'm gonna find out what.
I'm telling you, this hospital is like killing off people or making them go crazy or something.
This is what happens when you're compassionate towards sick people.
Right there, that's going up as one of the top Cordelia lines.
You there. Me here.
Right.
Splitting up, never a good idea. Just gonna throw that out there.
What are you doing here?
You better not do anything to Cordelia. If Cordelia dies, I'm walking, people. Miss Calendar is one thing. Cordelia, that's crossing a line.
Death and disease are things that Buffy cannot fight. It's only natural for her to try to create a defeatable opponent.
That's true.
That's true.
See, Willow and I think alike.
We live on the Hellmouth side. These kids may have seen a monster.
Exact Willow. Wow, Willow is like speaking exactly what I'm thinking. Well done.
Well, sometimes small children do see something we adults don't. Us. Our true selves. Our hidden faces.
I mean, just watch The Sixth Sense. If you are wondering about kids who can see things we don't.
Most people think that security guards are just guys that failed the police exam. But that's not me.
Of course not. You're the exception, right?
Really? Do you ever get scared?
Fear is for the weak.
I mean, this guy is a horrible, horrible security guard to be falling for this, but I'm loving it.
He understands the real truth about children.
What's that?
Sometimes they die.
I mean, that's kind of true for everybody, but
You have the most perfect nose. You must work out.
she could tell that by his nose. That's just classic Cordelia.
Could you make just a little more with the touchy gropey?
Jealous?
I was literally thinking, like, there's no way Xander could be jealous after that amazing performance from Cordelia, but of course there is.
I'm gonna stay here.
Oh, right. Your obsession with protecting Buffy. Have I told you how attractive that's not?
Someone's gonna watch her back.
Yeah, well, I've seen you watch her back.
What is that supposed to mean?
The phrase, watch her back, as a euphemism for looking at her butt. You know, sort of a pun.
There's Cordelia with no tact, but I kind of appreciate it.
Watch my back.
I do think, like, Xander, like, it's so hard. It is difficult to get over someone you're in love with. But if there's any reason for Cordelia to break up with Xander, it's a legitimate reason. Like, if you can't get over someone else who doesn't even feel for you in the same way, it's like you're not being fully present in the relationship and appreciating what you have.
You shouldn't be here.
Why not?
Because the creepy doctor's around the corner.
You think because I'm a grown-up? Believe me, I'm not that grown-up.
Oh, yeah. This is quintessential horror.
He'll come again tonight.
I'm telling you, this guy's got to be the doctor.
Grown-ups don't believe you, right? Well, I do. We both know that there are real monsters.
Buffy, you are great at talking to kids. Well done.
Can't fight Dad.
I mean, there's no way it's actually like a representation of like the Grim Reaper, is there? I mean, this is the Hellmouth, you never know, but I don't think so. My suspicion is the doctor.
Just wish I knew what he was doing to these children.
Maybe it's too obvious that the doctor is evil. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe he's like working with some other dark entity or like feeding it children. Oh no. Although poor Xander, he's probably been like keeping watch on Buffy for so long. I kind of want Xander to like realize what he has with Cordelia and make it right, you know? I'm rooting for you to be smart, Xander. All right, well, you're about to be busted. Something else is going on that we don't quite know yet. That's what I'm thinking. What? Wait, what? I thought that was Buffy. What the heck? Is it the Invisible Man? I mean, what are we dealing with here? Well, goodbye, Doctor. Heck, what is this creature?
What do you mean was?
He's dead. This thing killed him, and not with kindness.
No, definitely not with kindness.
This is your work?
No. One of the kids.
She's like, no, I would draw much better than that.
It's invisible to you, but the children can see it.
That's kind of a cool concept.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I see it then and not last night?
Good morning.
Oh, we were just talking about class.
It's like I interrupted a secret meeting.
That's exactly what you did.
Honey, I just talked to the doctor and she said I can take you home.
No. I should stay here.
She's like, I feel terrible, Mom. I'm bad. I like the hospital food.
I'll check Backer's office, see if I can find any post-its marked why a monster might want me dead. Yeah, I'm good at medical stuff. Xander and I used to play doctor all the time.
You see Cordelia's look?
She used to have all these medical volumes and diagnostic stuff.
Oh, great.
How did you play doctor? I never have.
Willow still doesn't get it. It's okay, Willow. You're just too innocent.
Cordy, you should go with Giles.
Why do I have to have...
Even Giles is like, I don't want to be stuck with her. Come on, Cordelia's good company.
Let's go, tact guy.
What a great burn. I hope you've had enough sleep, though. Xander might not be the best. Maybe someone needs to take a shift. And you should get a bucket of paint if there's an invisible creature, you know, just to throw it on top of it so you can see it.
Too bad Angel didn't put me in the hospital sooner. There's something I never thought I'd hear myself say. Hey, wait, I think I have something. Sherlock.
I mean, Willow basically is. She's like the Sherlock of Sunnydale.
So he really was trying to help the kids.
Huh.
What does this one do?
It elongates its mouth to engulf its victim's head.
Wait, what does this one do?
I know Giles is going to be annoyed by all these questions, but at least she's an interested student.
Boy, there's a demon for everything.
It's always great when there's like an unlikely duo and two characters you don't normally see are forced together.
Well, it It's not in here.
Unless it's right on the cover.
Who is this?
It's me. I've got your monster.
Where's Giles? Well, can you put him on?
Hey, I found your guy.
Come on, respect Cordelia as a source.
This book says that he feeds off of children by sucking the life out of them.
Sounds like our guy.
You should see this thing. The way it does his thing, I mean, ew.
Gorges by sitting atop his prey, pinning it down helplessly, then he slowly draws out the life.
These poor kids who have been slaughtered by this creature. What a way to go out. They must be so terrified in their last moments. Oh, great. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, wow. Dang, this thing has been murdering children for years and years. What an unlucky place to take your kid to the hospital.
Fever. That's how you see the kind of start. That's why Celia could see it.
Oh, okay. It's not their age, it's their sickness. That makes sense too, because she wasn't able to see it when her cousin was getting attacked.
Buffy! Willow, I'm going to do this. Buffy, that's 100% pure. It'll kill you in an instant. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if Willow wasn't there? Like they just discover Buffy dead. Willow is truly the MVP of this episode. But you will be weaker now, Buffy, so just be aware of that.
Keep quiet!
Or are they trying to escape?
I'm burning up.
It is tough dealing with an invisible opponent. It really is. Okay, it's working. Good. He's like, all my food left. Okay, I think it knows that you see it. It doesn't seem to mind. It doesn't seem to consider her a threat, which is good. Use that to your advantage.
It's going after them. I've got to get
Oh, perfect timing.
coming with me. Sorry.
Oh, great. They're going to have all the hospital security after them.
Frogs, get them off of me! Oh my God, Frogs, get them off of me, please!
Willow coming through. Well done.
No more frogs.
Who said Willow can't act? She might not be able to act on stage with all that pressure, but she can act when it really counts. This thing is like its own Freddy Krueger a little bit, right? These poor kids, man.
We're gonna be safe in here.
Shoot! Come on, Buffy, hurry, hurry. You're great at showing up at the perfect time.
You don't know how to kill this thing.
Thought I might try violence.
That's usually a good way to improvise against these monsters. Come on, come on. Jeez, oh my gosh. Was it gonna eat it through its eyes?
Make me sick.
Okay, let's go, Buffy. Way to go, Xander. Way to protect the kid.
Come on, come on, come on.
Man, Xander and Willow both are just stepping up big time this episode. That thing seems really tough, though. Yeah, that's gotta be tough. You can't see it. Come on, Xander. We need Xander to come help out. Is it dead? Oh, okay. That wasn't too hard.
I think I'm starting to feel better.
Good thing she didn't feel better too soon, you know?
He's dead, right? I mean, I heard something snap.
That would be his neck.
All right. Well, all the kids who go to that hospital from now on will be, little do they know how lucky they got that Buffy got sick that one time.
And the juice?
2 parts orange, 1 part grapefruit.
That's my drink.
I measured it exactly.
Joyce, you're a good mom.
I wanted crunchy peanut butter.
Oh, sorry.
Tell me they're going to keep panning and like Cordelia's there and also Giles. That would be so funny.
Oh, while you're up, could I get a refill? It's just, I'm so comfortable.
Okay, at this point, is she like a waiter? You guys better leave a tip.
And another bag of cheesy chips. There's another bag hidden behind the raisins.
Dang, that's some patience. I don't think I would put up with that as a parent.
This came in the mail?
There's nothing that's ever good that comes from a letter in this show, okay? It's got to be from Angelus.
Oh, he drew you a picture. How nice.
Okay. I'm assuming that picture is from one of the kids, actually. All right, so that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, episode 18 of season 2. so we kind of took a break from our main storyline a little bit. We got to see a little glimpse of Angelus showing up to the hospital, and that was a really cool moment of the episode. I really liked how Xander had that moment, like staring Angelus down, and really, you have to give so much credit to. Obviously Buffy has a lot of courage fighting all these creatures, sacrificing her life. She's a protagonist. I feel like she excels more than most in like the virtue department, but I do think that Xander deserves a lot of credit because he doesn't have like the powers, the strength, the ability that Buffy has. And I also feel like just as a character, like in moral situations and dealing with his emotions, Xander struggles more than Buffy. So seeing him, bravely be there for Buffy, watch after her, is really cool. And I have to, I rag on Xander when he does some dumb things, but I also think, he stepped up this episode. And Willow, geez, if it weren't for Willow, there should be like a counter throughout the show for how many times like characters would have died or the mission would have failed without Willow. Like Buffy almost overdosed on the fever drug and killed herself. Like, man, it just shows that the Slayer really does. It's a team effort. It's Buffy is the Slayer. Like she's the quarterback of the team, but it takes the whole team. They really need everybody, using their own particular unique strengths to make it all work. And speaking of team, obviously, I thought Cordelia had some really great lines this episode, and it's just great seeing her be more involved, but still stay true to her, her tactless way. Tactless, that's a word, I think. If not, then Giles can make fun of me, I'm sure. But she's still Cordelia, but she's now helping people out. And I also think like her kind of saying things how they are, like the fact that she can just openly kind of confront Xander about, hey, you're still in love with Buffy, you still look at her a certain way, is actually a good thing to do. If things are going to work out between them, you don't want to shy away from the elephant in the room that's kind of dragging down your relationship. And I don't know, I part of me wants Xander to realize either that Cordelia is a girl he genuinely cares about and Buffy is not someone he can just spend the rest of his life like yearning for, or to realize that he's still in love with Buffy and Cordelia was a distraction and he needs to spend some time with himself before getting into another relationship with someone else. Because, one of those things has to work out. Like I said, my mind is still, keeps thinking back to the death of Miss Calendar. That's just such a huge event in the course of the show. I think I was going to make a comment early on, but then I just stopped because stuff was happening on screen. But there's no way that Jenny is turned into a vampire, right? I feel like if she was, she would have already come back. But if that happened, I don't think that's going to happen. In the small chance that it does, that would be really, really devastating. Giles, like, it's already hard enough that Buffy has to face off with Angelus when she's in love with Angel. But can you imagine Giles? Oh, that would be so harsh. But yeah, I don't know. As far as this episode, I think it was cool. Having an invisible monster was neat. I like hearing kind of Buffy's backstory about how her cousin died and then tying that in with the creature. I do like how it wasn't the doctor that was just too obvious and it added kind of another element there. I feel like the monster got killed off pretty quick there at the end. I thought Xander was going to have to come in and save her or Giles was going to do something. But for a second there, I was like, oh, Buffy's in trouble. Its eyes are jumping towards her. But then, she just snapped its neck. So it wasn't too bad. But I'm sure, the kids will be very, very grateful for the favor that Buffy did. It's kind of horrifying and terrible to imagine that for all those years, like at that hospital, kids were just being killed off by this monster, That's rough. That's a rough one to kind of wrap your mind around. Just a quick little moment that I do like in the episode was the moment where the kid is like telling Buffy about the monster and Buffy, like, you just see how well she's able to ground herself and like communicate with the child and understand. And obviously, part of it is she has the understanding that supernatural creatures exist. But even if she didn't, I think that Buffy just has the personality, even if she wasn't the Slayer, she didn't believe in ghosts. I think Buffy is the type of person who, if a kid was scared and said, oh, the boogeyman is after me, or there's this devil that shows up, death comes at night and is scared, Buffy wouldn't just dismiss that as a childish concern and say, hey, you're being silly, go back to sleep. I think she would really be able to respect the child's fear and know that, just telling a child that something is silly or that they need to relax is a very ineffective way to communicate. So I liked that moment, and I wonder if that kind of is reflected in some of the theme of this episode, like maybe the how sometimes adults don't always listen to children and can kind of know what's best for them. Maybe I'm trying to find a deeper meaning in this, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where the story goes from here, to see more of Spike, more of Drusilla, and really Giles. I think I would love to see a whole episode focused on him, to see like how he's living now that he's lost the love of his life. So we'll see what happens. As always, thank you to everyone for watching along. Let me know in the comments down below. I feel like right now, the creature in the hospital represents something. I mean, obviously you could look at it as like, someone who's a predator towards children. I feel like there's something more to that though, because the fact that they can see it, I feel like there might be some type of meaning because they can see this creature when they're sick. So maybe it just has to do with more generally like the fears that children have. I don't know. But if you have an idea of like what this creature represents in this episode, love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to see the full episode, full reaction, that's up on Patreon. If you want to see next week's reaction, that's also up on Patreon. And as always, remember, be active, be mindful, and be a hero.